Welcome everybody to the Pissed Rhino Show. Today's show we're going to go through the speed infraction. As you can see, I've got a lot done, but there's still a ton more to go. So I want to go through where it's at. And then we'll go through where I'm at on the electronics. I changed my mind. I've been pretty much, if one of the big names like COWRC or somebody like that gives me advice, I'd be stupid not to take it, because obviously a lot of people have been doing speed runs for a long time. So I've made some changes based on what I've been told, and I guess we'll see what happens when we run this. The only thing I'm not going to change is my chassis. It's aluminum. It's heavy. I know. So let's get started and I'll show you what I've been doing. So I guess let's start here. So right here we have the Perfect Pass main spool. We have Perfect Pass carbon fiber front drive shaft and carbon fiber rear drive shaft. And this, it's all hooked up through the diffs and everything. And look at this. I can spin it. And that's moving all four tires. I don't know if you can see. Let me... Can you see in there? Come on now. Anyway, watch for the line. See right there's the line. I hope you can see. It's kind of dark, but anyway. So this is the smoothest drivetrain I've ever used. We've got Perfect Pass from diff to diff, and then I've got 43 and 13 on my pinions, and then 43 on the main gears inside. Front and rear diffs are the same. Both of those are locked out. I used RamJam, holy crap, RamJam. I used their lockers. So, and they're made very well. Titanium and aluminum, and the gears bolted right on them. Everything went perfect. One change I made was I filled these full of grease. Now, where I come from, that's usually what you need to do. For the little guys, you have to do it because, you know, it gets rid of the gear noise. For the bashers and big things like that, I usually do it because the grease is not great that was out there. But now, so I filled these up with COWRC Udder Butter, and they, along with others, tell me that that's not what you want to do with Udder Butter. You just need a thin coat on the gears and you'll be fine. So I scooped out a bunch of Udder Butter, and it's a little more than just a thin coat on the gears because I couldn't get it all out, and I didn't want to put any rags or anything in there. So it's close to what they said I need. It's just a little extra, not a ton extra like I had. I could show you the inside of my trash can from where I just flung the cow udder butter in the trash as I was taking it out. But anyway, so that's one change I made based on other people's opinions. I normally don't do that, but since I don't know this area, I'm going to flow with it. I do not know everything, so I am learning on this project, just like some of you are watching my videos. All right, so we got the perfect pass arms, upper, lower, and then lower in the rear. These things are beast. That's all I can say. I mean, they're aluminum, but they got a closed-in bottom, so it's smooth on the bottom, and then that just makes it 10 times sturdier than your normal aluminum A-arm. So we got that. I hooked up the sway bars. I've got my little special links here that I use on all my trucks. You can find them on Amazon. They're like $20 for 4, I think. So I mean, they're not real expensive, but when the plastic ones are like $2, most people don't want to shell out that money. But they last longer, they're stronger, they're not going to bend or tear or rip or any of that. So we got 2.9 sway bars on front and rear. And even without tightening up the screw to lock this in, both of them move pretty well together. So, oh, what else? So I've used the TLR, the TLR hinge pin holders, and I think I'm changing that. Now the reason being, you know, and these things are like $100 for the full set, and I just spent $150 on a different set. So these really weren't that expensive. So I mean, I'll put them in my box, and if I ever need them, I'll use them. The problem is the design of the Infraction does not go with the design of the TLR tuned parts. I don't know if you can see right here in the front, but the hinge pin is sticking through the hinge holder. And that's because it's set up to go all the way to these little nut holders, and that's what holds it in. Well, it doesn't work for these. I mean, it works here because the pins are still held in. But in the back, I'll show you more of what I'm talking about. The upper is worse because that's where you're going to get a big problem. These are not screw in, and my pins are screw in pins, so these can just fall right out. I mean, it's just friction holding them in place. So I had to order the upper mount so I could use my screw in rods here. And these are titanium from RamJam. While I'm up here, I'll go through this too. Is titanium shock mounts from RamJam, titanium upper pins from RamJam, titanium lower pins from RamJam, titanium balls for RamJam, you gotta have titanium balls. And I think that's it right there. So you can see it use the Treal differential housing, the bulkhead, and my diff gears went straight into it, no issue. You can see they're smooth as silk. So they've done everything I've asked them to do. So thank you, Treal. I know there's been one guy harassing you about his not working. He's using a 15T pinion. He says that's stock, but everywhere I look, I find 10T's stock. And I don't want to tear down my other car to find out. But if I ever do, I'll find out and I'll let everybody know. But 13T with a 43 spur works great in there. Next up to bat, I guess I could have told you what size gear this one is, because I can't remember. Oh, I think it's, I'll look at it. Maybe. Oh, let's just look at what I have. Alright, so here I have a 40 and a 42. So that's a 44 that's on there right now. Yeah. And then I'm pairing the 44 with a 31T pinion. So a 31T with a 44, or I could have done a 42T with a 28T, or I could have done a 40T with either a 24 or 25T. So I have multiple options, all of them in the green area as far as what works good with this motor. So but that's what I'll be going with, a 44 spur with a 31 pinion. So just so you know. We got the NSDRC Servo. This one's kind of overkill for the build. It's an SS600. Mark from NSDRC says I should have used the SS200, but I knew this was going to be a heavier one, so I wanted to make sure I had the power I needed. Speeds, really, you got to turn down the speed anyway. On a speed run car, because you don't want it to go you just want it to go just a little bit at a time, side to side. And the cool thing about my new radio, that IXSR from Spectrum, I can set exactly the speed on my servo. And when I say exactly, you know, I can type in, I want 30%, 35%, 20%, 10%, whatever it is I want. I can just type that into the controller and won't have to worry about it anymore. All right. Look at that shiny carbon fiber drive shaft. I mean, it changes color based on light, silver to black. But that is just amazing. I also have, I missed a bunch of things. God damn. I get ahead of myself. I apologize. So, we have our steering plate up here, and this is a JBIRC. Pretty nice plate. And the steering, the steering bell cranks are by Scorched. And these are the ones that do not have, there's no servo saver. Good Lord. My brain, I've lost my brain today. But it doesn't come with a servo saver. So basically, I could destroy the servo really easily. But that's not the kind of stuff that this will be doing. If I were to jump this off a jump and land and crash into stuff, then yeah, I'd be worried about it. But if this thing crashes, the servo's the last of my worries. The whole thing's going to be destroyed. So that's part of the game. You hope you don't flip over. And mine's so heavy, I hope that that's true. I feel more safe with a big old heavy chassis. And I'm telling you, it's really not that bad. I mean, it's heavy, but not really heavy. All right, so then we got our JBIRC braces. We got a front brace and a rear brace. Both of those look pretty sweet. And those are JBIRC, just like that servo plate. That's JBIRC. And when you want to buy something from JBIRC, you go to EVS Hobbies. EVS Hobbies USA. They are the #1 distributor for JBIRC parts. So they have everything in the catalog, if it's in stock. And if it's not in stock, then you can't get it from anybody, because if JBIRC makes it, then EVS Hobbies will have it. So anyway, then here in the middle we have our PPS grub screw locked motor mount and bearing carrier for the diff. So this guy, it's just going to lock down your whole settings and make it so you don't have to worry about it anymore. You're not going to have your motor falling away from it or getting closer. It's going to stay right where you put it. I got a little GPM steering link here. I mean, it's not a big deal, but it's better than plastic. Oh, we also have, and you're not going to be able to see this at all now because I got it all together, but the steering Hinkerman is JBIRC. Looks like I need to tighten those up. I think I forgot to tighten those up. Anyway, I'll be going. It looks great right now, and I know once my new hinge pin lockers come in, I'll be taking it all apart. So I'll be taking it all apart, and then I'll be Loctiting all the screws and all that good stuff. Right now, I'll make changes. I know I'll make changes. I've done it 100 times. So I don't put any Loctite on any of this until I know it's set in stone. Then once it's set in stone, I'll take it all apart and I'll put all the lockers in, or the Loctite in it, so that we don't have to worry about it falling apart at 200 mile an hour. But as of right now, nothing is set. So there's some things that aren't tightened, which I think that's the only thing, to be honest. Those screws might, I don't know, might be too long for that. Let's turn it on this side so you can see this side. You can see the JBIRC brace. I mean, that's a monster brace. You really don't need this top brace if you have this chassis and these braces, chassis braces. You don't need this at all, but I liked it. It gives it kind of a finished look up here. Plus, it gives you a great handle. You can just carry this thing around all day, grabbing onto it by that. And it's strong. It is strong. It's got 4 bolts in the front, 4 bolts in the middle, and then it's got 1 screw through the hoop-de-hoop here. And when you want to get this out of the way, you take out these 8 screws and it folds right up out of your way so you can take everything apart. What else? Alright, so one last thing in the front. I don't know if you're going to be able to see this. But look at where the drive shaft meets. So you got the drive shaft. So see that bearing? This is a 3-prong drive shaft with bearings on each prong. And it's like a trident. It's not called the trident because somebody else is using that. But this has got 3 areas for the drive shaft to settle in. And the reason being is you can see it's at an angle. And the bearings just make it turn that much easier. And that's why this one has the smoothest drivetrain out of anything I've ever made. And there's no slop. These drive shafts and their cups, there's not any slop. So that's the last thing in the front. Mouth's getting dry. Sorry, guys. All right. So now we're in the back. We've got the factory diffuser. We added these little carbon fiber things. We've got the GMP or GPM diffuser mounts. And I tell you what, putting those on just makes this sturdy as hell. It tightens it right up. And then we've got the body mount support. I don't know if I have anything. This is the box of parts that I haven't installed yet. All right, so there. So these are JPM. So these 2 sets of parts are GPM. I have carbon fiber shock towers by Perfect Pass. We got the Perfect Pass arms here. Got the same setup on the sway bars in the front. We have this little piece. This is from JBIRC. This goes where that, so if you had the standard brace mount on this end sticks up and has a couple different sets of holes. Well, this part only has one set of holes, so it's made for eliminating the top brace. Even though I still have a top brace on this level, I don't have a top brace that's up higher. So this kind of locks that out. It fits right in between the GPM body mounts or body mount supports. It really finishes off the area and makes it look really cool. It's just a little piece. I don't know, $20 maybe. I think it was. I don't know, but it's cheap. It adds support too. Don't get me wrong. It's not just for looks, because it. But so JBIRC on that one. We got the Treal bulkhead diff housing, and we've got the same diff setup in this one, which is a 4313 on a locker. So it's locked out, and that locker is made by RamJam. I got it right this time. And then we have we have the RamJam titanium up here as well. We have, not on yet, but we have the RamJam titanium. They call them hinge pins, but screws. One thing I can't use that I did buy are, they make the stock pins to locate your shocks down here. Well, these are set up for screws, not for pins. So I cannot use the titanium pins. I'm going to have to just use regular screws for them. And I guess that's great. In the real world, you kind of don't want to have specialty pins. If you break one, you can just throw another screw in it. I understand. That's great. But I wish I would have known that before I bought the pins off of RamJam. But anyway, if anybody wants some suspension pins for your shocks, lower shock mounts, I have sets for front and back. I'll probably just keep them forever. So anyway, I have other RamJam parts that I'm just keeping forever, because you never know, that next build you do. Actually, I won't sell them because I'm going to put them in my other Infraction. I'll get into that a little bit later. So we have the RamJam lower pins here as well. And that brings everything down to the TLR parts. Now, I'm going to get my little flashlight here. I don't know if you can see it or not. But look inside the mount right here. You will see a silver dot. That is the hinge pin going through. It doesn't go through on the other side, but it does on the back side or on the front side. So that means that that pin eventually could work its way out and fall out. Eventually. It's got a nice friction fit, but that is not what you want on your race car. And then I hope you can see, should be able to see that one a little better. See the silver right there? So this pin is coming out on this side. Again, and this side would be even worse because the pin will just work its way out even faster. So that's why I have to get rid of these TLR tuned hinge pin mounts. Now, if you want these for a different vehicle, I mean, they work for several different vehicles. So I just did this as a trial because they never say that it'll work on an Infraction. So I wanted to try it. I tried it. They don't really work for an Infraction, so they gotta go. But, and I won't be putting these on anything because I don't have any of the buggies or Vendetta or whatever they go on. But anyway, these two will be my first two and probably only speedrun vehicles I make. I think I'm going to do drag next. I really want to, and that I'm hoping that my second build, my other one over there, I'm hoping I can drag the shit out of it. That would be fun. All right. Well, I think that is all the parts that are on it. Oh, we got a couple more parts I forgot about. So we got the rear titanium sliders. They are, to protect this entire chassis by just riding on them. And then there's one up here. I have it too, and it's a titanium. So those are the three, what do they call them? I don't know. I can't remember. But they will protect the chassis a little bit. Anything bigger than that thickness is going to scratch, obviously. But this is going to be ran for a couple speed runs until we do what we want to do with it. But then after that, it's probably going to end up on my beloved wall of awesome RC vehicles. All right. So that is what I have got done so far. The main thing I'm waiting for here are my links because they've gotten screwed up in ordering 4 times now. And then my hubs and knuckles because I'm still waiting on those. Who the hell knows when they'll show up. But it is what it is. So let's talk about the power supply. So the ESC, as seen here, we got the 2 wires that go to the ESC, or to the receiver. Yep, we got those. We got the on-off button right here on the side. You can see we've been decked out with forged carbon fiber all around and gotten rid of that plastic piece that Castle puts on there. And this is a Hyperflow fan. So Hyperflow fans from here up is their product. So they got you a new cover, a couple stands up here to make it go up higher above the radiator. And then I should just say the fins on the heatsink. And then this plate here, which allows air to come back up through. And then the big ass fan. I'm not quite sure. I can't remember how many RPMs this fan has, but it's a lot. And we've got the wire that they provide, and then I made this little wire here to convert from a 2-prong JST to this JST 2 point something, I think. I can't remember, but so that all looks really well. Then I got my dual battery connections along with the cap pack. So this is kind of how it'll be set up in the car. And then this will be standing just like this. So that'll be the setup. It's all done. And it's been done for a while. But what I did do was I took some other people's advice. First, let me say that I swear to God, I read somewhere on Neu Racing or Neu Motors website that says you want to do a butt-to-butt solder on the wires for the motor. I swear I read that. Then I had a couple guys tell me, hey, you shouldn't have butt-to-butt that. You should solder pins onto it and then use the pins to connect the wires. And I thought, yeah, that'd be great, because then you could connect the wires at the motor, not just at the ESC. But I was like, I read somewhere that new motors are supposed to be butt-to-butt connected. So then I went back through, after they said, no, sorry, you're wrong, and me arguing the point that evidently was false, I went back and I reviewed both websites, Neu Motors and Neu Racing, and I couldn't find it anywhere. I have no idea. Like I said, I know I read it somewhere or else I wouldn't have done it, but I can't find it. So what I did was I took apart my butt-to-butt solders, and through levels of heat shrink, heat wrap, and then I've got my connectors here, which I totally covered in heat shrink because I didn't want any possible touching. But these are, I think these are the ones, these are Castle. Not 100% sure, but they're one of the big names. I know that, and I'm pretty sure it's Castle because that's what I was looking at last, I think. But so these are the connectors that are under there. These are 8mm bullets. They actually slide together pretty good. So that is what's under the shrink wrap. If I can get you a better picture. All right. So all these wires are secure. There's nothing open. Shouldn't have to worry about any shenanigans going on between my motor and my ESC. As long as we program it right. So that's going to be a big deal too. Now I can't get these damn things apart, but that's going to be a big deal, is making sure I tune all that before I actually hook to turn the motor on for it. But so the layout will be just like this. A to A, B to B, and C to C, or the opposite way, I'm not sure. And then this will be how it's mounted. Yeah, I think I put them in backwards. But anyway, you get the point. That'll be on that side of the drive shaft. This will be on this side of the drive shaft. And these wires are probably going to be ran over this. I don't want to run them under it because I don't want them that close to my drive shaft, even though I could zip tie them in place, which is an option, but I'm not sure. When I put the motor in, which sticks out past here, the wires want to go over. So we'll see. I've still got time before this goes in it. We got the XLX2, brand new. Then we've got the new motors. And that's a 1533, I think. Yeah, 1533.75, 8mm. This is not their top motor, but it's the top one that you don't have to worry about so closely, if you know what I mean. They have faster motors, but you have to pay more attention to what you're doing with those. So I decided to go with this one. Cool thing is, if I decide to upgrade to a double motor situation, it can be done really easily. And then just run another one of these and another one of those, and bammo, we've got power. And then to power these bad boys, we've got the SMC's SRD 10,600 mAh 4S LiPo that have 250C, and that is, I'm guessing, spike C's. But yeah, they are badass. Again, another first for this build are these badass batteries. I used to use some good batteries back in the day when I was racing, but lately with just bashers and things, I just buy whatever, I can get that's a decent number. Because, yes, everybody says the C rating is fake and you have no idea, and that's true. But you do know that if the C rating is 200, the C rating is probably going to be higher than one that's got a C rating of 50. Might not be much, but you hope that it would at least be more than the 50. So that's why I always get the highest C number I can afford. Because the higher the number, at least, if it's only 50% of it, it's still better than 50% of a 50 C battery. Anyway, these are 250C, and there's been tests done that show that these are accurate. The numbers are accurate. The MAHs are accurate, and the C's are accurate. So these are very good batteries. Very expensive too. I guess 2 of these batteries. Yeah, I think the motor was the same price as 2 of these. So very expensive shit. Alright, so that's what we've got done to it so far. Everything's ready. We just need some parts. And parts we need affect other areas of the build. So let's go through what I got so far. Front bumper shit. I got the front plate. I'm probably not going to put this on until I have the proper hinge pin mounts, which I've shipped, so they should be here soon. I also have a GPM. There's a part that goes between this and this, and it's coming. It's a GPM. This is perfect pass. All the carbon fiber except for the upper bar is perfect pass. I got these little hinge pin adapters. These are spacers for the front uppers. So you can put them forward or you can put them backward. It's up to you of where you want them to be. None of the others even move a millimeter. So those are perfect. But here you do need to use some of these. And they make it that way on purpose. You're supposed, this is a tunable situation. If you put them in the front, it's going to do something different than if you put them in the rear. So, and that's what she said. Anyway. I got the plastic upper shock mount protectors. I have some blue ones coming. As you can see, all my fans are done in blue. This was going to be a blue build, but then it kind of took off in the direction of, you know, fully raw aluminum. But I think I'm going to, I don't know. I think some of the blue is just gaudy, but I'll put them on there and we'll see. We will see. Not some stuff for the fans. As you can see, the motor fans aren't on. These are also by who? Hyperflow Fans. They make the mounts, they make the fans, assemblies. They cover the wires nicely. It's just a beautiful piece. And you can get it held in with zip ties, which I like, or you can get it held in with clamps. I don't use clamps because I don't want to tear up my motor, but I did see something cool online yesterday. So they took a clamp, they took the clamp apart, they put on shrink wrap all the way around it, heated it up, and so the shrink wrap covered the entire band. So there would be nothing scratching your motor. And I thought that was pretty sweet. But I'd already told him I want zip ties, so that's the way we're going to go. But next time I might go with clamped, just because that is cool as hell. I've got titanium screws from RamJam to hold on this piece, and they actually go on the underneath as a protector, as a slider. So those are a plus. Those are titanium, so they'll spark. Then I've got the body mounts. I've got the mounts plus these. These are metal. Black metal. But then I ordered these from JBIRC through EVS, and they make their own. And these are kind of beefy. My problem is I only ordered 2. I don't know what I was thinking. I thought I was ordering 2 sets, but evidently after I went through my receipts, I didn't. I only ordered 1 set, like an idiot. So I'm probably going to order a second set of these. I also have a set of blue ones coming. The only reason I like the blue ones is because they have longer ones for the rear. I don't know. The front or rear needs longer ones. And especially if you're using this piece on both. So, so in the rear, let me show you what this one would be here. In the rear, it sets right here like that. Beautiful fit. And these are going downward. In the front, they go upward. But the stock ones go upward even higher. So you're going to need longer mounts in the front. And the stock car already has them this long. So I'm hoping the little longer ones that I've ordered in blue don't look too bad. And I figure if I have a bunch of little things that are colored, it's not too ghetto. I don't know why I think that, but I just don't like, I wouldn't want a red chassis because it's going to get scraped up. So what's it going to be? It's going to be a red chassis with silver lines through it. This one, if you scratch it up, it's going to look like it got scratched, and then you can buff it out if you really want to, and then you're back to brand new. So that's why I always use a chassis that is raw material, and then usually I would use raw material on the arms, but Perfect Pass did them in black. And plus there's so much protection in the front. The only fronts are the only ones I'd really be worried about. Because hell, the A-arm here goes over this diffuser and there's only a little bit hanging out. But I always want to go with as much raw material as I can. And that's where JBIRC comes in and PPS comes in. Both of those are raw metal, CNC, thick pieces of aluminum. And that's what I love. I love it to be beefy. And this one's definitely going to be beefy. So I'm not sure which pens I'll use. But whichever ones I don't use will go in the other car. And that's the cool thing about doing two cars. This is exactly what I did on my Creightons, is I'd buy a bunch of stuff from my show Creighton and pick the best setup for it. And then whatever I had left over, I put it into my Basher Creighton to get it beefed up a little bit. And I really don't care what it looks like. It's a Basher. So that's kind of how this setup's going to be. The other one of these is going to be a Basher, maybe drag racer at some point, but it's just going to get demolished. I'm hoping within a few months I have to buy a new chassis for it. That's how that goes to the front. Still got all the bearings. These are ceramic bearings. Every bearing in it so far is ceramic bearing. Got the hubs and knuckles, and I think that's it. But once we do that, it'll be a complete ceramic bearing vehicle. These are the wheel mounts and nuts. Haven't had time to put those on yet. Because why? We don't have our drive shafts in there. These are the titanium rear pins we were talking about. Called hinge pins, but which they are, I guess. I've decided that this build is going to get the SR6200A, 6-channel, long antenna. I don't know. I have no need for 6 channels, obviously. But I will be... No, all the fans are going to a separate system. I don't know. It doesn't need 6 channels, but I think I might put that in there. I don't know. I'll look at the range on all... I'll pull that info up and decide based on the range. So, I got a bunch of different size battery I use these in the Vidavon SCX6 buggy, and there's a reason I like these, and I'm going to show you right now. So, everything that touches the battery is rubber. It's rubber, and you can't move. It sucks onto the battery, and this will not let it move. Pretty cool, right? So I got a bunch of different sizes of these. I'll be using them on this project and probably multiple other projects in the future. Once I found rubberized inside battery straps, I will never use anything different ever again. And there's quite a few companies that actually make them. I happen to like Apex. They're the first ones I bought, and they worked great, so I'm going to continue using them until something crazier comes out, maybe. I don't know. But these will be holding my batteries in place. They are very expensive batteries, and I don't want them to move. These are going to help with that. Next up that will help with that, I haven't decided which one I'm going to use yet. I'm going to have to try a couple of them. But you can do the same thing to your battery tray. So this has 3M sticky on one side, and it's a sheet of tacky rubber. So you put one there. I don't know if two will fit. Two fit perfectly. So you put these in the middle, and your battery's not going to go nowhere. These are very expensive because they're supposed to be made just for this. And I thought, well, if they're making them just for it, and you can buy other brands that put patterns and shit on them. So I found these on Amazon. Anti-slip dashboard pad for a cell phone. I thought, well, maybe that'll work on a battery. And these were $6. $6. So I was like, well, shit, let's try that. And I think this might be the route I'm going. They got a textured side. Oh man, that is just sticky as hell. Man, both sides are so sticky. And it's a little bit of padding too. So there's a little bit of foam between the two sides of rubber. So you stick that in there. You cut it to fit. It's the exact same length you need. That's pretty sweet. But you cut a little bit off the sides, and you've got the perfect protector of your battery. Obviously, when we get closer to it, I will record another video of us trying these out, me trying these out, and I'll let you know which one I like better. But these are very economical, and if they work almost as good as the others, which I feel they're going to work 10 times better, and there's no adhesive on your vehicle, which is even better to me. I don't want a bunch of parts stuck with adhesive. So far there's 0 zip ties and 0 adhesive in this build. So if I can get away from using the 3M, that would be great. Alright, so these are all the parts that I got to put on the vehicle. It's really not anything big, just a bunch of little finish up items, because I'm waiting on parts. I'm waiting on the Vidavon knuckles and hubs. So yeah. This build is just tremendous to me. It's just amazing what I've had to learn, what I've seen. Like I said, making changes to it. Just incredible. I do have this to talk about. So let's talk about this. So here we have, and I had stock arms in my boxes over there. So I was able to put these together using the stock ends that come on basically any arm of vehicle, big scale anyway. So these are the 2 rear and these are the 2 front. Now what's different is the bars. The actual bars are from RamJam and they are titanium. So these are titanium links with the plastic ends, which seem strong enough, but I'm not sure I'm going to use them. Again, these might end up on the other car. I have GPMs on order, which I've used GPM on my show Creighton and on my Basher Creighton, and I loved them. So I want to use these because they're titanium and that's strong, but with the plastic, I don't know how that's going to work. But the GPMs I've used before and I trust them. So I think I'm going to go with the GPMs and then I'll put these on the other vehicle. So me spending time taking these all apart and put them all back together, which is a pain in the ass, by the way, won't be in vain because I'll put them in the other vehicle. Here we have number 45 steel wheel axles and regular axles. But these are titanium. Those are steel 45. These are titanium. Very light. Then same thing here. We have the steel 45 wheel axle, and then the other part of the CVD is titanium. So those are ready to go. So I have all the axles ready to go. I have all the power components ready to go. I'm just waiting on knuckles and links, and that's it, I think. But yeah, so much work. This has been a lot of work. The show Creighton didn't seem like a lot of work, but this one seems like a lot more work for some reason. I'm not sure why, but it does. And I know my way around the Arma because it's basically the exact same thing as a Creighton, only lowered shock mounts, and I mean, that's basically it, really. I mean, you got diffuser stuff and all that that's not on the Creighton, but basically it's the exact same thing. And like I said, I don't remember the show Creighton or the Basher Creighton being this intense. So I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. But I'll feel a lot better once we get the hinge pin mounts, the hubs, the knuckles, and then I can get 99% of it done. Oh, I did order something cool the other day that will be coming soon, and that is a tire truer. And not just your average spin it and let it go. I purchased a motor-driven blade cutting system to true tires and, reduce them a little bit. So I've got some 103s tires back there. I'm going to take those down to about a 96. And as I take them down to a 96, they will be trued flat. I did buy the upgraded blade necessary to be a lot more capable. So that should be really cool. It'd be fun. I've never trued my own tires in that fashion. When I used to carpet race, of course, we would do it with basically sandpaper and a drill. But now we have these cool gadgets. Now it's pretty expensive. I bought a cheap one, but it was still $200. The cool ones that do it themselves are $400 and $700. And that means you don't have to turn any dials. The one that I purchased, you got your wheel spinning right here. You got a blade that's on a mechanical slide. And as you turn the wheel, it moves slowly, 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 and trims off that layer. And you can trim backwards, and then you go dial it in a little further and trim more. But this one is a version 3 of this particular item, and they have made it so that you can just move the blade yourself. You don't have to spin the wheel. So it's powerful enough to allow you just to zip through a tire, adjust it, zip through it, and get down to your shape a lot quicker. And then you've got to round your corners just a little bit so that you don't get breakaway. You got to clean them up real good and make sure they are ready to go and true as true can be. You still have to balance them, but I've heard that BSRs don't have to be balanced. And I have a set of BSR purples coming. So once I get those, I'll be able to get those down to the low profile like Perfect Pass makes. But it's funny, you read up on BSR, and these tires were not made for speed runs. That wasn't even in their heads when they made them. They're basically for buggies, and they make some for dirt oval and stuff like that. So they're not saying these are good for speed runs. But all the racers out there have decided that BSR purples are the speed run tire. And they have to be worn down to about 96 millimeters. So I'm going to try it. If the experts say that's it, then that's it. I'll try it. These other wheels and tires I have here, which are sweeps, they're like the number 2 tire behind BSR. But I'll sand these down as well. Cut these down. It's not sanding, it's cutting. I'll trim these down as well, and these will be put on my other Infraction. Speaking of the other Infraction, so far the mods consist of this. I got an extra set of winglets that I ordered on accident, so I'll be putting those on there. This is a Perfect Pass carbon fiber center brace, so this will definitely be going on there. It's much sturdier than the aluminum one. We've got these little side panels. There's plastic ones on it, and you put these in their place. I got these set up to go on there, but I think I'm going to buy the thicker ones so we can put batteries on them. So I probably won't be using those, but and they're Perfect Pass too. Both of these are Perfect Pass, and these are luxury, radio controlled. I have to say these are an Amazon seller, but they are sturdy and shiny, real carbon fiber. All the edges are sanded perfectly. I'd buy these again. These are pretty nice pieces coming from Amazon. So that's all I got going on the Stalker build. And like I said, I guess I haven't said, but this build will be stock motor and ESC for as long as I can keep from buying new shit. That could be a day, that could be 6 months, it could be 2 years, I don't know. Knowing me, it's going to be very difficult not to switch that out, but I'm going to try to leave it alone. Alright, so with all that information, that's where we're at today. I think we got, like I said earlier, a great start. There's only one thing I got to go back and redo, and that's all the hinge pins. And then after that, just waiting on parts. So once all the parts get here, we'll get it together, and I'll have more videos. Maybe the next build video I'll record. You guys know I don't like building on camera. It just doesn't usually go very well for me, but I might do one. I don't know. I'd rather go through and show you guys exactly what I did instead of dropping screws and shit on camera. But anyway, I'll think about it. But let me know how you feel. Please comment below. Also, we still have the Facebook group, the Pissed Rhino Show. I'm asking all of you to go join. I'm begging and pleading, go join. You'll get more information on the build. You'll get to see early pictures of where I'm at, stuff like that. So go join. Doesn't cost nothing. I mean, it's not going to blow down your feed. So just go join it, please. The Pissed Rhino Show Facebook group. And then also my Instagram, which is just Pissed Rhino. I post some early stuff on there. I kind of toggle between Instagram and the Pissed Rhino Show, so check them all out. It doesn't cost anything. You like RCs, and if you like RCs, you're gonna like what I post, because I only post RC shit. That's it. My family, yeah, I don't care. I'm just kidding. Of course I care, but I'm not putting them on the internet. They can put themselves on the internet if they so wish. So I put RCs on the internet. All right. That's my time for today. Did a little bit of a long one this time. I apologize for it being so long, but we had a lot of information to go over. Hope you enjoyed it. I hope you subscribe if you're not a subscriber already. Please like this video and please share it to other like-minded individuals that might want to subscribe to the channel as well. And don't forget, let them know about the Pissed Rhino Show on Facebook as well too. That way they can get all the information going on in my little build room, making these, I can say it, beautiful, awesome RC vehicles. All right, so until next time, I'll see you here on the Pissed Rhino Show. Thanks, everybody.